Welcome to the Zandbergen Report, where wealth strategies and investment wisdom collide, featuring your distinguished host and certified financial planner, Bart Zandbergen.
Welcome to our show of Dream Chasers and Wealth Makers. We are thrilled to be back in the virtual studio today with a new episode of the Zandbergen Report. I'm proud to bring in the movers, shakers, and difference makers who are passionate about sharing what they have learned and what you need to know today. And today, I'm so excited to have Deborah from YNG Studios. Deborah Miller, I'm sorry.
I'm
Deborah,
sorry.
welcome to the show.
I got to restart it because I screwed up. I hit the wrong button here. Sorry. We got me all rattled here. So let's do it one more time here. Hang on a second.
Hey, can you grab my water, please?
Let me restart this. I had the wrong.
Collide, featuring your distinguished host and certified financial planner, Bart Zandbergen.
Welcome to our show of Dream Chasers and Wealth Makers. We are thrilled to be back in virtual studio today with a new episode of the Zandbergen Report. I'm proud to bring in the movers, shakers, and difference makers who are passionate about sharing what they have learned and what you need to know today. And today I'm very pleased to have in studio Deborah Miller, owner of YNG Studios. Welcome to the show, Deborah.
Thank you, Bart. So nice to be here. Thank you for.
Of course. And Paul, of course, great to see you as usual.
Yes, exactly. Here, wow, we got a full tour before the event here of her whole yoga studios there.
Yeah,
looks like they're doing a lot of work.
So, Deborah, let's just start with what is YNG Studios?
Well, YNG Studios is a yoga studio, and we were formerly Asana Fit. And my husband and I bought the studio a couple years ago. And when we bought the studio, I felt very compelled to rebrand it with YNG. YNG is the amalgamation of the word yin and the word yang. So you put yin and yang together, you get YNG. So I know, like, what? But it was really important to me to have a name that had only 3 letters in it, because 3 is, if you get into numbers and numerology, it's a very powerful number. It's mind, body, spirit, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. There's many attributions to the number 3. So I really wanted to create something with 3 letters in it because I felt like it was very powerful. Pyramids are triangles, and that's 3 ends. And I don't want to get too weird on you, but it's just, it really resonated with me that we're always trying to find the balance between our yin and our yang, our feminine and masculine, the dark and the light, the up, the down, the good, the evil. You know, there's always this this inner struggle and maybe even outer struggle. Mm-hmm. And we can find the space between those 2 opposing efforts and find peace, then you're at YNG.
So that is a great explanation and a great name with a lot of meaning behind it. So well done.
Thank you.
I've read a little bit about you, and it looks like you've had quite a journey to get from where you were to where you are today. So why don't you share a little bit about that?
Well, it's been an amazing journey. I was a business owner prior to owning this business for about 24 years. I owned a hair salon, a really very successful hair salon that got a bit bitten in 2008, in our deep struggle through the economy. And I did end up closing that business, which was devastating at the time. But I really took it as a time to reinvent myself and decide, how do I want to move forward, with this. I was also going through multiple back surgeries, and there was a coming together of so many different things that were happening at the same time. Then when this opportunity to open the yoga studio came to me, I had already been becoming a yoga teacher, finding yoga. I mean, I've skipped over a bit of the story. I came to yoga. This was actually the very first yoga studio that I ever practiced in.
Wow.
So I was planning on going on a missionary trip to Africa. I was really deeply moved and by the plight of just the worldwide water shortage. Like, we have water, many people don't. Safe, clean drinking water kills more people on this planet than wars and any other pandemics put together. So water was really a powerful drive for me. So bringing clean water and community development to third world countries was really important. So in my preparation for that, with the mind of an athlete, I decided to go to a hot yoga studio thinking this will emulate what it might feel like to be in Africa, because I had no idea. So I set foot into this studio, and for the first few weeks, it was exactly that. It was just trying to take the hella hottest class I could find and endure it. And then all of a sudden something changed. You know, I started connecting to what the instructors were saying, the life lessons, the philosophies. It was lining up with the way I felt about the world, the big world view. And all of a sudden my body was responding, a body that I thought was minimized. Like I was never going to be an athlete again. I was never going to do and move and breathe the way that I used to breathe. And then I came in here and it all changed, you know? And so once I connected with that, I wanted to learn more so that I could share more. And over time, I became the top instructor here. And then over time, when the studio owners wanted to sell the studio, they offered it to me. So here we go.
And so how long ago did you take over?
We took over 2 years, June 1st. So that was we celebrated our COVID birthday, our COVID anniversary.
Yeah, we're going to get into that, of course, and how you pivoted with all that's going on. Are you finding that there, as a previous business owner, a lot of similarities to your hair business to the yoga business?
That's a great question. I think that there's a lot of similarities in just owning a business in itself. It requires a lot of attention, like a newborn baby. You know, you got to nourish it and nurture it and pay attention to what your goals are. I learned so much from when I owned the hair salon that I applied to owning the yoga studio, that everything really prepared me for being where I am now. Like I feel very confident and comfortable, even in this really difficult time, because I've, survived this other difficult time. You know, what happened in 2008 felt devastating to many business owners because it was really difficult to stay open and keeping the business alive. And all of that is very similar to what's happening here. You have to create a staff that's loyal to you, that believes in your brand, that is behind you. You have to let those people shine, get out of your own way, be open to change and moving forward, evolve or die, right? So it's really adapt or die, like you have to keep in the front versus being reactive, a step ahead, but really letting the people around you flourish and shine.
So you mentioned that you were an athlete or still are an athlete. Do you do other sports or other type of training now, or is it strictly yoga?
It's strictly yoga, but our studio does, and this is actually one of the classes that I shine in, is it's a combination of yoga with weights incorporated and cardio incorporated. So, I mean, I often get asked, especially the age I am, which if you ask me, I'm totally not going to tell you. But it's old enough to where I could be teaching, saying, I'm the oldest one in this room, drop and give me 10, you can do 10 more. So people will ask me if I do other things just because of how much I get from these sculpting, shredding classes that incorporate weight resistance, cardio, and then also flexibility through the yoga. So it's a triple threat.
Wow, I've never heard something like that. I mean, myself included. I'll do an occasional yoga, but that's in addition to my weight training. So I've never heard of something like that altogether. That's interesting.
It's so awesome, Bart, because I call it like the gateway to yoga.
The gateway,
right? The gateway, because there's so many, especially men, who come in and they're really like, look, are you going to sit me in a room and chant? Because I'm not ready for that, And I get that, right? Because we're all on different layers of our journey. And this is it's really fun. Our studio specializes in this kind of class. It really has kind of separated us from the other studios because we put as much priority to that as we do to the flexibility classes, to the gentle flow, to the sound healings. And it is the gateway. So when guys come in, especially guys that are yoked, and it's like they've been to the gym and they're like, all right, my girlfriend brought me in here, so I'm going to take a yoga, whatever's, I'm just hoping this some points for tonight.
Yeah.
And they go into the room and they're like, where's your big weights? Like you only have like up to 10 pounds in there. And, you know, when I'm in the gym, I use like whatever weights they use. And I'll always say, look, use your 10-pound weights. If those are not enough for you, the next time you come in, I will have whatever weight you need. And I've never had any guy from military to like bodybuilders to professional athletes ever needing more, because it is tough. And they're the ones that are struggling, because it's like a lot of reps. It's really moving muscles in every direction. We're using the sleepy muscles that you don't even know exist. And then holy guacamole, you're into it.
All right, Deborah, that kind of sounds like a challenge.
You know, it
to
all
me.
is, Bart, because I hear that you're an athlete too. So I'm like, hey, Bart.
So 10 pounds. So, all right. We'll see. All right.
And 10 pounds is even too much. But you know what? Because I say be easier on your joints and really work through the muscle fibers, right? So when you're doing a lot, you don't need heavy weights. A little goes a long ways.
All right, Deborah, we'll see. I'm going to have to come in. You're going to have to show me.
A little goes a long way. Come in and see our spicy hot yoga sculpt.
All right, spicy hot. All right, let's talk about what life was like right before COVID, meaning what was the kind of the schedule like, you know, and then what happened when it hit, and then how you pivoted to adapt to, I hate to use this term, but kind of our new normal.
Right, which is still not even normal yet, but
That's why I call it a new normal, because I don't think it's going to be what it was anytime soon.
And I agree. You know, as we were starting to head into COVID, my husband is an avid watcher of every news show on the planet. And I'm more like, I don't watch it. You know, like I want to know the littlest and it have accuracy. And I just, because I feel like there's a lot of fear that gets like bought in if it's overplayed in the mind. Somewhere between the two is probably really good.
Right.
So literally on the last day I was teaching class, like just resisting closing down. I did not want to close down. I just didn't believe that it was, you know, the pandemic that it was being described to be.
So you had classes all day, right? Prior to this, you were doing classes every hour.
Classes a week. We have 2 yoga studios in here. We have one that's heated, one that's not heated. So you can come in and decide what it is that you want to take, what environment you want to take it in. But yeah, we were flourishing. We had, 60 plus classes a week, plus workshops, and they were packed. So, and yes, and I wanted to just keep on because people were still wanting to come. But we were also right in the process of really coming into our namesake of being YNG Studios. We had been in this kind of soft, recreation, but January, February, it was like a hard line. We are becoming this and letting go of who we used to be, which was a bummer to be closing down in March and have people confused, know? So
right.
That was, and we had, there was just a lot of changes that we had implemented starting at the first of the year that were not set to really come into full circle until like March and April.
Right.
So we kind of lost that tail end. And so we did have to pivot in a big and fast way. And I'm so grateful to my husband because he is my tech support. He is the tech guy. I knew that we had to start filming immediately. We had to start putting live classes out for our members. And we had to really create a consistent and strong message of courage and hope. And we had to let them know who we are, what we stand for with consistency. And there's so many parts of this process that have actually been very beneficial to us, that allowing us to have this new vertical of social media classes, the live classes, the YouTube classes, like whatever it is. But it's allowed us to connect to an even broader group of people. And we put everything out for free because we really know that there's so many people that cannot afford to do yoga right now. And they're really nervous about even coming in a little bit. So what we had was a full-fledged business with 60 classes, and how we're coming back is slow and steady. We're having about 3 to 5 classes a day. And over time, we'll continue to expand. We haven't opened up the hot room yet. The hot room is going to be opening up if God allows, right? It's like manifesting it, 4th of July. I think that's a day to shoot off some fireworks in that hot room and light it up.
Okay. So you had the 60 classes a week, and you went to, sounds like virtual type classes. Were they live virtual or were they pre-filmed?
No, they were all live. So we filmed live every single day. So my husband and I were filming and processing and creating live content, sometimes 5 or 8 classes a day. Like we were keeping almost our full schedule in the live platform. And at the same time, repurposing and remodeling and like really creating a branded experience for our students. So when they came back, it felt like they were coming back to something stable and secure and safe. And I think that was a real important, introduction for them to come back. Everybody is a little off their
Right.
their center, right?
Yeah.
So, so it was live classes, but then we also filmed them to save them and put them onto YouTube. So if you missed it live, then you can catch it when you wanted to on YouTube and practice to your own schedule.
What a great contribution. We just said you weren't charging for that. I think that's a really nice contribution, and I don't know, kind of a way to give back when people are down, and I'm sure your people were like me, were like, oh, I don't have a gym to go to. What am I going to do? And so having that service must have been really amazing.
And some of the gyms are not reopening. There's a lot of the gyms that we're real familiar with that have been like the heartbeat of our community that are not able to reopen right now. So I always, being of service, generous, giving things away has always been a part of just who I am. It's part of my DNA. There's a word in yoga that's called seva, which is just an act of service without expecting something in return, not financial, not a gratitude, just, you're just giving it away because it feels right. And that's what it felt like. There was tons of classes that people were charging for, and everybody needs to make a living. So I have there's no problems with that. But I just felt like from where we stood, that it was really important for us to not charge and give something to the community and just say, we see you, we hear you, we feel you, and we're here for you.
So you reopen, you're having fewer classes. What else are you doing to keep people encouraged and make them feel safe?
Well, we started after we opened putting a couple of classes outside. So there's a park that's right by us, and again, free to the whole community. And we put those park classes out, so people can absolutely keep social distancing and also get some movement. And it's been hugely successful. So loving doing the park classes, staying connected, just we've put on a drive. We're putting on a drive for the homeless. And at this moment, I just feel like there are so many people, even though it feels like we have lost everything, like we have nothing, right? My husband lost his job. We have, there's a business that is, we everybody's struggling. But if you really take a moment, there's always going to be somebody who has more struggles than you do, that has less than you do. And when we really peel it back, we have so much abundance. There's so many things that we can share. So we're taking a huge collection for our homeless community. We're partnering with FAM, which is Family Assistance Ministries, so that we can create individual bags and then also bigger things that can be given to the community as a whole. So that's a bit where my heart resides.
So great. Hey, let's define some of your yoga classes. So define for us, what is hot yoga? How does it differ from every other yoga, with the obvious difference in that it's a hotter room?
It is a hotter room. And
how hot?
Well, Bart.
Over 100?
Yeah. Yes.
Over 105?
They're about at 105 is about where we max out. Okay. So it honestly depends on the style of class that's happening. So there are classes that are more static poses that would be at the higher temperatures, because you're not moving as much, you're not creating such a cardio experience. If you're in, say, a flow or a vinyasa class, then the temperature would be under 100, because you're already building up your, if you're doing a shred class or a sculpt class, for sure under 100, right? Because as much as I have my, CPR certificate, I really don't want to.
Yeah.
But people thrive in that. They love that room. They love it hot because there's just something about that detoxing effect of the heat, sweating everything out, just getting a good sweat on, just clearing and cleansing. And it's like shrink wrapping your body. Like I don't want to get too physical, because
Yeah.
I don't, want yoga to be perceived as like a physical endeavor to, lose weight or whatnot. But if that's one of your goals, like it happens real quick.
Okay. So in addition to that, you have the vinyasa, you have flow, you have many different types, all right? Of
Yes.
classes you're offering?
At the end of the day, like, let's get honest, like all yoga is yoga, they all fall under this umbrella of hatha yoga. So you can get into where different masters teach us different little variations. But a lot of that just, as the instructors come in, they put their own little spin on it because it's where they have done their training. There's power yoga, there's vinyasa yoga, there's shredding yoga, and then there's a Bikram style class it's not Bikram, but it is inspired by it. It's 26 static poses that, move intelligently one upon the other, and touch every muscle, every organ, every cell. So I feel like you're either static moving, like static from pose to pose, like taking a pause between each, or it's power, your longer holds and you're really building some dynamic action in the body, or you're flowing, meaning you're moving a little bit more like breath to movement and there's a little higher pace in how you're moving. So then your heart rate is getting up higher. Okay. I think that kind of differentiates the three styles.
Yeah.
And then,
all right. So speaking of differentiating, how are you different than the other studios, either in, I know you're in San Clemente, so in San Clemente or just even in Orange County? There's big names, there's big chains, the gyms are offering it. So what's your claim to fame?
I think that, being an independent yoga studio, we really can be who we want to be. We're not corporate, so you're not going to get a corporate experience. You are going to get a very fully embodied yoga experience. Our instructors are trained 10 years and plus. And so you're going to really get, yoga has like 8 limbs. There's 8 categories and the physical is just one. So you can go get a great workout anywhere, but that's just one aspect. The full bodied experience is to be able to get, a mental connection, the meditation, the breath work. There's a lot of layers, and a very skilled teacher can like weave all of these layers in 1 hour, and you don't even realize that you have tapped onto every limb, and every limb allows you to live a better, more productive, calm life. It also allows us to kind of step into our higher selves, our better selves, like what that intention is. How we are different than other yoga studios is we have 2 studios in under one roof, which is a blessing. And we do identify one room as being just as the hot room, and then this is the not hot room. So there's some people that will never want to step into a hot room, and there's some people that could not imagine ever not being in a hot room. Some people like it both, right? It's like one day it's like you need to calm yourself, one day you need to ignite yourself. So having all of those options in one studio is pretty awesome. And then, as I mentioned before, the sculpting type, the shred classes, we have those almost every single day. I think except for Sunday, we have them every single day on the menu. And it is one of our signature classes.
All right. That's the one I'm going to check out.
Yes, you are.
All right. How long has yoga been around? Thousands of years?
Thousands and thousands. Some say 5,000, some say 10,000.
Would you say that the basic classic moves are the same as they were thousands of years ago?
I honestly pray that they are, because if we try to lose the fidelity of those original postures, sun salutations, yoga won't be around for another 5,000 years. Like that's part of the 8 limbs. That's part of really being able to, as a yoga instructor or as a studio owner, impart what yoga is. It's so much more than that physical practice. And there's many studios, because they may be corporate or, just whatever the belief system is, that want to not offend somebody. So they don't want to teach some of the older teachings because it doesn't maybe resonate with, something today. It's really important, I think, that we honor what yoga really, where we came from. These are the deep roots, and the roots are what keep us grounded, right? Shallow roots are no bueno. So we want these roots to be like really deep and integrated, right? So this tree has an integrated root system, this one, and then they kind of meld together. And that's how it should be, like all yoga studios, holding each other, supporting each other up, keeping the roots growing really, really deep, and being like, there shouldn't be competition.
Oh.
There's 3 other yoga studios here in San Clemente, and all of us owners, we we get together all the time, you know, and we share our journeys, you know, we support each other. We hold each other's feet to the fire. It's been, I really believe that that is such an important part for our whole community to see us stepping out. You know, we post our pictures saying, hey, we're together, we're having lunch, we're talking about what's happening, and we're creating solutions. So really, if we preach like no competition and no judgment, then we got to live that. And so that's what we're stepping into.
That's so great. So as we're getting close to the end here, Deborah, I always have the honor of asking my final thought question. So you look nervous.
I think I was supposed to prepare for this question and I forgot to.
My final thought question is, what is your ultimate lesson learned? And I'm going to say, I mean, you're a serial entrepreneur, so for the businesses that you've owned, and the current one being yoga, what is your ultimate lesson learned?
My ultimate lesson learned is to like get out of your own way. You know, like don't be your obstacle. Let your obstacles be your lessons, but really be open for change. You know, if you are open to change, if you are able to be fluid with the things that come up, then I think you'll be successful. There's a bit of preparing for the worst, but hoping for the best. You can prepare all day long, but it's like really just believing in yourself enough to know that you are going to make it. Like never, ever, ever, ever give up on yourself, because you have to be your biggest cheerleader. Your other cheerleaders may fall away, but you have to believe in yourself to the moon and back. And when you do, that confidence that you exude, others will buy into that confidence. You have to be able to light your own fire.
I love it. I love it. All right. You're a healthy person, healthy lifestyle. What's your guilty pleasures?
Oh my gosh. Well, Mike is not here. Thank goodness, because he would give it all away. I love peanut M&Ms.
Wow.
Peanut M&Ms. Wait, there's new ones.
Right.
There's caramel inside M&Ms that are in like salted caramel M&Ms.
Wow.
Like I don't think I could pass an M&M, honestly. But
Let's see, looks like Paul's getting ready to leave his chair. I think he's going to go grab some.
oh my gosh. And I love, and French fries. Like I've never met a French fry that I don't like. So if I was to say between the two, I don't even know. Like I love salt and sugar. So
Yeah, that's a salt sugar thing. Yeah.
So really a guilty pleasure, which I rarely have together, is like popcorn with M&Ms in it. Right? You go to the movies and you get the buttered popcorn and then you throw some M&Ms in it. But I always tell myself that when you eat things in the dark,
Doesn't
count because your body doesn't see them going in your body.
So I would have to say, Deborah, you know how to live. You definitely know how to live. How can people reach you?
They can reach me by our website, yngstudios.com. They can reach me at Deborah@yngstudios.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Deborah Miller Yogini on Instagram. That's the same handle. And I would love for anyone with any questions or looking for a yoga experience or just sharing their stories where they have felt limited by their bodies to know that there is hope, that you can be limitless through the body and through the mind. I've been there, I've done it, and I'm here to share it with you.
Great. Well, I'm going to grab Paul, and he and I are going to come into a.
You're coming. I like it.
You know, my wife always says I'm a natural at yoga because she always says I do the bad dog pose or whatever. I'm good at that. So.
That might be down dog.
A down dog. Okay, whatever. Down dog.
All right, Deborah, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. This was very, very interesting. I think the listeners are going to really enjoy your story, your journey, and what you've done. So thank you for your time.
Bart, thank you. Paul, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. You guys have a blessed day, okay?
You as well. I want to
Tune
thank
in
everyone
next
who
week
has
for
tuned
the-
in, and we look forward to being back in virtual studio again next week. Cheers.
Tune in next week for the latest edition of the Zandbergen Report, Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Catch up on our recent shows by visiting bartzandbergen.podbean.com. The Zandbergen Report is also available on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Interested in being a featured guest on our show or have a question you'd like to hear us answer? Email podcast@bartzandbergen.com. Bart A. Zandbergen, CFP, and Letitia Burbaum, AIF, are registered investment advisors with Optivest Inc. and registered representatives with Gramercy Securities Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Investment advisory services are offered by Optivest Inc. under SEC registration.